So I cut my fabric and then I notched the notches so that I can remove my pattern piece out, and then I serged the sides that are going to be sewn. So the seam that's going to be sewn is serged, right? This is the lap zipper exercise. So what I'm going to do is right side, I'll look for, I still have a notch. So this is going to be the upper edge in this case, okay? The seam allowance on this one is 3/4 of an inch, not half, all right? And the notch is telling you that, and also you have the notch where the zipper stoppers will be. Okay, so I will sew the two right sides together, matching my notches. Alright, and I am going to sew only the part that is below the zipper stopper notch. Right, so I'll leave the upper part open, and then similar to what I did with the invisible zipper, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the ironing board and then press my seam allowances backwards using the attachment point and the notches at the top. And I'm also, when I am sewing on the machine, I'm going to start with my pin where my pin is, and I'm aligning the edge of my seam allowance with 3/4 of an inch seam guide. And it is a number 2 stitch, so I'll stitch a couple of stitches, back stitch again until I get to that notch, and then I will continue stitching until I get out of the seam, and then back stitch again. So this is the first step. Okay, and then clip, and I'll go to the ironing board to iron my seam open and to crease backwards the seam allowance, pressing it with the iron. One thing that you need to do differently here is on the right side, okay, on the left side I will use the notch and the kind of attachment point, and then I will press using the iron on the right side, in this case of the wearer. I will offset my seam by about 1/8 of an inch. So my notch is here, and my 1/8 of an inch notch, my 1/8 of an inch is over here, but I'll come back to 0 at this point, and then I'll press, okay? And so I'll go do that, and I'll be right back. So now that I pressed one side, and you can see so the seam allowance on this side will be 5/8 of an inch and at the beginning, and then it comes to 0 at the attachment point, and this side is 3/4 from beginning to end. So this is the right side of the garment, and this is the right side of the zipper. I will bring the right side of the garment on top of the right side of the zipper, and then I will align the zipper stopper with the upper attachment point, and then I will pin my zipper tape to the seam allowance and the garment on the right side, okay? As close as possible, just basically touching the outer edge of the zipper coil. All right, and then I'm going to take this to the machine, and I will top stitch this side in place. So I'll bring it under the foot, and I'll be stitching as close as possible to the fold. All right. Why? Because I will cover that stitch with the left side with the left side. So you need to be as close as possible to that fold. I stitched, back stitch. You can open the zipper a little bit so that it's out of your way and doesn't distort the stitching. Then hold your fold in place and keep stitching. Aligning the fold with the left edge of the foot will give you about a 1/16 of an inch top stitching line. Once you pass this area, you can raise the foot and get the zipper pull out of your way so that it doesn't affect your stitching. And just keep going until you get to about the upper edge of the zipper stop. And then once you get there, back stitch. Okay, so this side is already installed. Right, what I'm going to do next is I am going to bring the other side on top of the zipper, and I will use it to cover my stitching. Right, so I will lap it over the top stitching of the right side, and then I will pin my fold of the other side on top of this side. Okay.
Do you pin it right on the seam?
Right on top of the stitching.
Yeah, on the stitching.
Yeah, right on top of the stitching to cover it kind of comfortably, not pulling too much where it's distorting the garment, okay? So it's nice and, you know, kind of relaxed, all right? Once I'm done with that, I am going to feel for the zipper stopper, and I'm using the heat erasable marker to mark where the bottom edge of the zipper stopper is, okay? And after I mark that, I will come here, be perpendicular on my seam, and I will draw a line that's about 1/2 inch wide, okay? So from this seam out 1/2 inch, and I'll do the same thing over here, so another 1/2 inch mark on top, and then I'll connect my two dots with a straight line. Okay, once I have my line in place, I'll take it back to the machine, and I will stitch, back stitch. You can hand crank in this area. The most important thing, to avoid the metal zipper stopper, because it's gonna break your needle. All right, so stitch until you get to the pivoting point, okay, the corner. If you need to do 1/2 stitch, you can. All right, once you get to the corner, align the line with the edge of the foot and keep stitching until it gets out at the top. If I'll come a little closer, if the zipper pull is pushing on the foot, you can take this pin out just before you take the pin out. Okay. Pull the zipper tape towards the center and pin the zipper tape to the fabric, and then you can take this pin out. And I'll pass a little bit, and then I'll take this pin out and take the zipper pull out of my way, so that I'm just stitching this area so that you guarantee kind of a straight line basically where it's supposed to be. Once I get to the end, I'll back stitch. And this one is done. Easy? Okay, good. Alright, take your pin out and zip and unzip, and this looks good. Your fabric is caught nicely, right? Nothing is skipping. And here is the flap zipper. Okay? Alright, so, sure. Alright.